Whew, we made it. Saturday morning yoga. Let's start in a comfortable seat. So we are now up to limb number 5, or stage 5 of the 8 limbs of yoga. I'll read what I read at the beginning of class yesterday from Light on Yoga by modern father of yoga, BKS Iyengar. These next 2 stages, pranayama, which we practiced yesterday, and pratyahara, today, teach the aspirant to regulate the breathing and thereby control the mind. This helps to free the senses from the thraldom of the objects of desire. These 2 stages of yoga are known as the inner quests, or antaranga sadhana. So pratyahara. Prati means against or away, and ahara means food. In this case, we can refer to ahara as any stimuli we take in and ingest. The essence of pratyahara is withdrawal of the senses, or mindfully filtering what we experience in our outer world. As you know, we are constantly being stimulated by external things, from sounds of traffic outside my window to perhaps you have TV on, maybe news, or the phone bleeping with text messages, or the dog needing food. Our attention is constantly being pulled outside of our bodies, outside of ourselves. So this is such an important practice, especially as we move from the yamas, what we refrain from, to the niyamas. How do we practice spiritual practices, to asanas, being more embodied in our presence, to pranayama, which is bridging the inner and outer world, to now pratyahara, which is going a little deeper inward, intentionally withdrawing from external stimuli. So in the Yoga Sutras, pratyahara is defined as the conscious withdrawal of energy from the senses. So we choose to direct the focus inward, and in Yoga Sutra Book 2, number 55, then what follows is supreme mastery over the senses. We talk so much about conscious living, making mindful choices of what we put our energy and thus create more in our lives of. So how do we purposefully decide what to pay attention to when even subconsciously we're being stimulated? Things are going on and we're ingesting even in the subconscious mind. Well, it's definitely a practice, as all of yoga is. In the Chopra Center website, a Vedic educator, Michelle Fondin, writes a list of the different senses and ways that we can practice pratyahara. She calls it a diet for your senses. So for the sense of sight, she says, start by keeping the TV off whenever possible. Maybe don't read news with violent images or content. Reduce the number of ads you view in a day. Buy yourself flowers and place them in a space you are often in. Remove clutter and things that no longer serve you. Number 2, for the sense of hearing, eliminate music with harsh, hateful, or violent lyrics. Turn off radio stories that are disturbing. Or if a family member or friend start to talk with negativity, tell him or her that you choose to talk about a more positive topic and quickly find a solution instead of ruminating on the problem. If you hear about a tragedy or someone in need, opt to say a prayer for the person or a situation, or send money to a cause that could remedy the problem. 3, for the sense of touch, eliminate all unnatural or artificial foods from your diet. Opt for fresh fruit, vegetables, whole grains. Eat some meals in silence and close your eyes while you taste your food to get the full sensation. Mindful eating. And the 5th, sense of smell. Ideas could be burning aromatherapy candles or incense that makes you feel relaxed. Or find a smell from childhood that brings back good memories and include that into your environment. So not only sense withdrawal, but being intentional with how we feed our senses. Here's an interesting, deeper into yoga philosophy written by Judith Lassiter in a Yoga Journal article about Pratyahara. He says that in yoga philosophy, each person has 5 levels or sheaths. The food sheath, which is the physical body, the vital or prana, as we talked about yesterday, life force sheath, that's the level of the subtle energy channels. The mental sheath, the level of most emotional reactions. The consciousness sheath, home of the ego. And the bliss or causal sheath, the karmic record of the soul's experiences. So these sheaths can be thought of as increasingly subtle layers of consciousness. In Shavasana is a great moment to really dive into the practice of Pratyahara, where you are withdrawing from the external world without completely losing contact with it. This withdrawal is the experience of Pratyahara, essential in diving into the next stages of yoga or limbs of yoga we'll be going into the next few days, the various stages of meditation. So in physical yoga practice, the asanas, how can we develop this practice of Pratyahara? When we're in a yoga posture and there's sound coming from your background or something is pulling your attention elsewhere, maybe it's a thought, a past or future thought, it's coming back to consciously choosing to be here in the body and feeling what the body is experiencing, feeling the breath. So let's practice Pratyahara as we bridge our connection to the inner world from the outside. Sitting tall, feeling your pelvis rooting down. Let your hands rest in your lap. Lift the spine, feel the alignment of your shoulders and how they create ease in your neck and length throughout the body. And then close your eyes, a means of turning your attention inward. Pause your attention in your physical body right now. What is there to notice in your mind and your breath? Bringing intention into how we move our bodies and connect with breath. What feeling are you cultivating through this practice today? What quality are you inviting into your perspective for today? Setting an intention. You might join the palms to meet at your heart and bow in, sealing that intention as you begin to deepen your breath. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. A few more times like that. Filling up space within your torso as you take in breath. Notice the 4 walls of your ribcage gently expand. Notice your belly softly expand. Now, as you direct more breath and attention to your belly, you might even like to place your hands there if you're a very kinesthetic person. And focus more on breathing in and out through the nose with the lips closed, expanding and hollowing the belly. Either continuing sustained breaths like that, or preparing to practice 1 minute of Bhastrika Pranayama, bellows breath. Energizing, warming, oxygen filling for the lungs that helps to clear the mind. I'll quickly demonstrate. So Bhastrika is done with the elbows bent to the sides, hands like fists. Eyes and mouth are closed, inhaling the arms raised, fingers spread, exhaling the elbows rebend, hands like fists. It's like this. Equal inhale, exhale into the belly using the diaphragm. So if you want to start with me, let's prepare. Ready? Go. Pause, relax into natural breathing a moment, and just observe. Let's begin Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breath. Still closing the lips, breathing through the nose, while softly narrowing the back of your throat to invite a gentle whisper. Sustaining the breath in, equally out. So this breathing warms the body, gives the mind a sound to anchor its attention on, helping the practice of Pratyahara. To steady your attention on that sound rhythm of your breathing as you softly open your eyes. And let's come down to all fours, hands and knees. So as you place your knees on the ground directly underneath your hips, let's make fists out of our hands. Gently press your fists against each other as you softly lean the backs of your fists onto the ground. Slowly shifting your weight forward, find just the right amount of intensity to feel a stretch in your outer wrists and forearms. Now notice if there's any tension arising in your neck, your shoulders, or your jaw and face. You might even gently move your head if that feels appropriate, or stretch the mouth, relax the face more consciously as we take about 3 more deep breaths here. Notice that your elbows are off the floor and bending apart. Now, as you lean into your legs, circle your hands at your wrists or shake them out. You might even wiggle the shoulders out and gently turn your head. Now, let's set the hands down so your wrists are a couple inches in front of your shoulders, preparing for a spinal twist, and thread the needle. With an inhale, raise your left arm up high, opening the left collarbone from the sternum. As you exhale, thread your left arm palm face up underneath your right bent elbow. Rest the left side of your head all the way down. If it doesn't easily meet the ground, place something under your head like a yoga block or a pillow. As you flare your right elbow up towards the ceiling, use your right hand to press into the ground while you draw your shoulder blades down your back and wide apart, sending your breath between them, and level out your 2 hips, stabilizing your lower spine, and intending the twist to happen across your waistline for just 2 more deep breaths here. Stretching into our latissimus dorsi, you might feel it in your rotator cuff, the deltoid area, maybe even the trapezius, all the upper back, neck, and shoulder area. Now pressing the ground away, slowly rise back to all fours, and we'll switch sides. Inhale, raise your right arm up, opening the right side of your chest. Then exhale, thread that arm, palm face up underneath your left bent elbow, resting the right side of your head all the way down, maybe placing a prop underneath. Flaring your left elbow up towards the sky, use the left hand to help stabilize, as well as stabilize your 2 hips, equidistant from the floor, as you rotate the rib cage, softening the shoulder heads away from your neck, and spreading the shoulder blades across your upper back for 2 more deep breaths. Spinal twists are a great way to just begin energizing the body through touching upon various energy centers that lie throughout the spine area. Stimulating digestion. Take one more breath here and press the ground to rise up. So as we prepare for movement in cat-cow pose, let's come up high on our finger pads. Hollow out the center of your palms, still have your wrists a couple inches ahead of your shoulders, and really feel that rooting down to lift up. So you're not sinking into the ground, you're pressing the ground away. And now with an in-breath, starting cow, elongate your spine forward, then right under your shoulder blades, coil your chest up, sliding the shoulder heads down as you gaze forward and up. With an exhalation to cat, round the back by contracting the belly. Drop the head, tuck the tailbone under. You might even add tucking the toes for more stretch in the lower back. Inhale again to cow by lengthening the spine forward, then coiling your chest up. Feel the fronts of the shoulders roll behind you. Exhaling into cat pose, you might add tucking the toes, engage the belly, dome the back. And then take maybe 3 more cycles on your own, or any other kind of movement. If you want something more lateral, you could wiggle the pelvis side to side, look behind one shoulder and the other for more lateral stretch, including in the neck. Now flatten the palms and have your wrists directly under your shoulders, pointing the index fingers forward so they're parallel to each other. Continue that feeling of rooting down through the palms to lift up. So your shoulder joints don't feel congested. They feel a little lighter when you do that, more space. Now at the shoulders, rotate your triceps, these outer sides of your upper arms, slightly towards your rear wall, the back of your mat, so that you can broaden both the shoulder blades and the collarbones as you elongate the neck, looking on the ground ahead. Now right under your belly button, lift the lower belly, engaging the abdomen so you're in plank pose modified on your knees, or you might decide to straighten the legs into full plank, taking about 3 more breaths. If the legs are straight, continue the long line from top of the head, tailbone to inner heels. Firm the front of your thighs as you press the heels back. Now with a long spine, the feeling of a flat back, lower belly lifted, exhale, slowly glide forward, bending the elbows back to a 90-degree angle to stack right above the wrists, not behind the wrists. Come all the way down. Set your forehead on the ground and keep your hands alongside your floating ribs. Point your toes heavily on the mat with your ankles hips distance apart. Grounding your pubic bone, energetically stretch your legs back, keeping them heavy on the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, look on the ground ahead to cobra, and let's pause for a few more breaths. Now feel the tops of your shoulders, release them downward away from your ears, and lengthen the back of your neck. With your inhalation, smile your collarbones wide apart, opening the heart space. Taking one more inhalation, feel every toenail firming into the floor, then exhale to lower. Let's pulse it. Inhale again, peel the fronts of your shoulder heads back, right under your shoulder blades, find the arch to lift your chest up. Exhale, slowly lower, chest, then head. This time, either cobra again or upward facing dog, only if you have no issues in your lower back today. So grounding through the tops of the feet, knees are off the floor in both postures. Pelvis stays on the floor for cobra, or you press through the hands for upward dog, lifting the pelvis off the floor, drawing the shoulder heads back. In upward dog, the shoulders stack right above the wrists, but the chest is coming forward of the wrists. As you look slightly up, lengthen the back of your neck. Keep stretching the legs actively to help lengthen the lower back. Now let's sit into child's pose for 3 breaths. So set your knees down, bring your feet together to touch behind, and feel free to open the knees apart as wide as needed so that your pelvis can easily draw down to your feet. Let's make it an active child's pose so you're stretched, reaching the arms forward, separating the hands, shoulders width apart. The floor. Rotating the triceps towards the ground as we have been doing to spread the shoulders apart. Take more breath. Lengthen through the sides of your neck. Now, where they are in this extended child's pose, and separate your feet at least hips width apart. Where your feet are, where your hands are proportionate to keep them there when you rise to downward facing dog. They're proportionate to your body. So once you're in downward dog, take a few breaths. If you already want to be still, feel free, or maybe you pedal the feet, gently warming up the backs of your legs, perhaps adding a swivel of the hips left and right, or moving the head gently to feel release in your neck, release in your jaw. Notice the energy of your hands as you spread your weight through every knuckle of your palm, root down especially between thumbs and index fingers. And as you straighten the arms, maybe bending the knees a lot, especially in the beginning, lift your hips as high as you can towards your rear wall. Weight is shifting further back as you rotate triceps towards the floor and lift the shoulders away from the neck. As you look at your feet, relax the neck and engage the belly in towards the back. Pressing the fronts of your thigh bones back, let's take 2 more deep breaths, holding still. Adho Mukha Svanasana. On your exhalation, walk your feet to the front of your mat to stand in a forward fold, Uttanasana. Feet apart, parallel the second toes, and again, you might bend the knees here, especially a lot more in the beginning to release the spine long. Press your fingertips on the ground ahead, maybe on blocks, or onto your legs, shifting more weight towards the balls of your feet. Firm the belly in like you would in plank, and inhale, traction the spine as you elongate it forward towards a flat back, parallel to the floor. Shoulders moving away from the ears. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips again. From down to your feet, keep energizing belly and legs. Inhale, circle your arms overhead to rise up, gazing as your palms touch. Exhale, trace your thumbs down the center line of your body, mountain pose. Surya Namaskar A, waking up the body. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold. Press with your fingertips. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Carefully place your hands into plank. Exhale as you glide forward with control in the belly, lower. Either all the way down for cobra or halfway down where you untuck the toes, legs are strong, upward facing dog. Engage the belly as you lift the pelvis high and draw your weight towards the rear of your mat in downward facing dog. Let's take 3 to 5 deep breaths. Listening in on the quality of your breathing. We'll practice one more together of a continuous sun salutation A, and then 2 more on your own so you can really go with the pace of your own breathing. With very bent knees, look forward in front of your hands and take a full breath. After the exhale, try holding the breath out. Engage the lower belly to lightly jump or walk to the front of your mat. From a forward fold, inhale, press with your hands and lengthen halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Root down to your feet, inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Palms meet. Exhale, trace your thumbs down your center line. 1 more together, 2 more on your own. Inhale, sweep the arms up in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow in Uttanasana. Inhale, half fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Either lightly jump back to Chaturanga or step to plank, exhaling to lower forward, then down. Either Bhujangasana, Cobra, or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Then back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So on your own here, take a few breaths to restabilize. Listen to the sound quality of your breath. And when you feel ready, walk or lightly jump forward and take 2 more continuous Surya Namaskar A's. finishing your last sun salutation A. Take your time. We'll meet in downward facing dog for a few breaths. In downward facing dog, bring your feet together to touch. Keep pressing the mat away with your hands. And inhale, raise the right leg behind you. Exhaling, bend the right knee, turn open at your right hip. Let's take a few breaths warming up the right hip joint. You could choose to rotate the right leg in both directions as you tack the left hip back. You could choose to cross the right ankle in front of the left thigh like a figure 4 shape and press the sitting bones further up and back. Make sure to flex the right foot if you do that. Just a couple more deep breaths. Now, evenly grounding through your palms, relax your neck. Inhale, raise the right leg straight behind you, now squaring the hips. As you exhale, cross the right knee to tap your left elbow or outer upper arm, shifting forward to stack shoulders over wrists, look ahead of your hands, and balance the shoulders. Inhale, back to three-legged dog. Exhale, open the right hip to tap right knee to right elbow or outer upper arm forward and plank. We're warming up the obliques. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, round your spine by contracting the belly, shift forward, knee to nose, then lightly step the right foot forward directly between your hands. Spin the back heel down for warrior 2. Align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Then press through both feet and windmill your arms to rise up. Now feel your left leg spinning slightly inward as you straighten it. Press the outside edge of your left foot into the ground. Rotate your right thigh bone outward so your right sitting bone draws downward. Lining the middle of your right kneecap with your middle right toe down the midline of your mat. Feel your pelvic bowl aligned upright, promoting the most length and sense of freedom in your spine. As you open the arms wide, reach through your fingertips. Relax the shoulders down. And steady your eyes on one spot, just in front of your right hand. Now, where the eyes go, the attention and energy flows. Perhaps you choose to close the eyes in this practice of Pratyahara. Now let's tune in for 3 more breaths. Virabhadrasana 2. We're gonna add a flow to the breath. So keep your legs in warrior 2. Flip the right palm to face up. Lift the sides of your torso, but keep sinking the tailbone. Then laterally lean towards the rear of your mat. Left hand lands lightly on left leg. Right palm reaches overhead towards your rear wall. Exalted or peaceful warrior. Feel the right side body lengthen as you send breath there. Observe that your right knee continues to trace the midline of your mat. Take another inhalation. Come back through warrior 2, keep the right knee bent, and slide your pelvis sideways towards the rear of your mat. Reach the right hand towards your front wall, then lower the right forearm onto your right thigh to gently push off of, not collapse into. As you flip the left palm to face up, sweep it overhead towards your front wall. An extended, yet modified, side angle pose. Notice you're wrapping your right sitting bones still under your body, lengthening throughout your spine down to your outer left heel as you spiral your chest slightly towards the sky. Maybe you're looking up, shoulders away from the neck. Take a full cycle of breath. Then let's flow. Keep the legs in warrior 2. Inhale up through warrior 2, flip the right palm, sweep it back, peaceful warrior. Exhale, up through warrior 2, shift forward, right forearm to thigh, left arm overhead, side angle. Inhale, warrior 2 to peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior 2 to side angle. 2 more cycles. Inhale, warrior 2 to peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two to side angle. Last one, inhale, warrior two to peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two to side angle. Straighten the right leg as you rise tall. Perhaps shorten your stance a couple inches as we prepare for triangle pose. Glide the rear edge of your mat and reach the right hand towards your front wall before tilting it down to land lightly either on your right leg or just to the right outside of it, still pressing arm and leg against each other. As the left arm is straight up, stack your wrists and shoulders in one line. Keep rolling your right sitting bone under your body. Now actively direct your tailbone towards your left outer heel. As you lengthen the crown of your head towards the front wall of your room, slightly up. Rotate the chest slightly towards the sky. Relax the shoulder blades down the back. Feel your lower belly hug in towards your back. Steady your gaze, perhaps inward, for 3 more breaths here in Utthita Trikonasana. Sweep the top arm overhead, look down at your right foot, lower your hands to frame it. Optional, flow into vinyasa or cat-cow, or go straight to downward facing dog. We'll meet there. Arriving in downward dog, spread the fingers, but bring the feet together to touch. Notice any difference you might feel in the left and right sides of your body. Re-steadying your breathing. Inhale, raise the left leg behind you. As you exhale, bend the left knee, turn open at the hip, and choose how you want to warm up that left hip joint, circling the leg in both directions while tacking the right hip back, or crossing the left ankle in front of the right thigh like a figure 4 shape, while flexing the left foot, pressing the sitting bones evenly up and back. Just about 2 more breaths. Relaxing your neck, softening your eyes, let your head fall. Next, inhale, raise your left leg straight behind you. Keep the shoulders leveled by looking forward, and exhale, cross the left knee to tap your right elbow or tricep, stacking shoulders over wrists. Inhale, back to 3-legged dog. This time, open the hip and tap left knee to left tricep or elbow, stacking shoulders over wrists. Inhale, raise the left leg. Through center, contract the belly and bend left knee towards your nose. Softly land the left foot right between your hands and spin the right heel down for warrior 2. Aligning left heel to arch of right foot, press your both feet and cartwheel your arms to rise up. Now, as you're turning your right knee and toes to slightly face the front of your mat and straightening the right leg, firm the outside edge of your right foot into the floor to prevent collapsing the inner arch of the foot. Bending your front knee right above the ankle, wrap your left sitting bone under your body and align middle of left kneecap with middle left toe down the midline of your mat. Feel the alignment of your pelvic bowl upright as the lower belly firms in and you lengthen your spine tall. Then opening the arms, feel the reach through your fingertips while relaxing the shoulders down. In our study of the third limb, or asana physical yoga, we talked a lot about balance, of challenging ourselves physically, yet allowing a sense of ease. Find that in the breath as we stay in warrior 2 for 3 more. Keep your legs in warrior 2. Lift through the sides of your torso. Flip the left palm to face up, then laterally lean back towards the rear edge of your mat. So the right hand lightly lands on right leg. Left arm sweeps overhead as you lengthen the left side of your torso. Breathe into it. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep drawing the center in and slightly up. Exalted or peaceful warrior. Making sure the left knee is not collapsing to the right here. Still trace the midline of the mat. Now rise up through warrior two, and this time glide your pelvis back towards the rear of your mat and reach the left hand forward before lowering the forearm onto your left thigh. Gently push off of that thigh so you're not completely leaning into it. Keep rolling the left sitting bone under your body. Reach the right arm up, wrap the tricep towards your right wall, and sweep the right arm overhead towards your front wall as you draw both shoulder blades down the back. Engage lower belly towards the back and spiral the chest slightly towards the sky in this extended modified side angle pose. Now let's flow. Inhale, rise back to warrior two and flip the left palm to peaceful warrior. Exhale through warrior two, reach forward and down to extended side angle. Keep going. Inhale, warrior two, back to peaceful warrior. Keep the left knee bent. Exhale, warrior two, forward to side angle. 2 more cycles. Inhale, warrior two, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two, side angle. Last round. Inhale, warrior two, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two, side angle. Now rise up, straighten the legs to prepare for triangle. You might want to shorten your stance a couple inches for stability. Root down through the legs, glide your pelvis towards the rear of your mat, and reach the left hand forward as far as you can before lowering it onto your left leg or just to the left outside of it, pressing arm and leg against each other. As you raise the right arm, stack your wrists and shoulders in one line. Now notice how your lower back, especially the left side of it, feels here. If you're starting to feel any tension there that you know is not right, remember you have the option of lifting your left hand a little higher and re-rolling that left sitting bone under, tacking the left hip further towards the rear of your mat. Making the adjustments as you listen to your body's even most subtle signals. We're here for 3 more breaths, drawing your attention inward. Sweep your right arm overhead, look down at your left foot, lower your hands to Freeman and step back to plank, where you might choose to flow or not. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Now with feet hips width apart, take a couple more deep breaths in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Keeping your 2 hips leveled, inhale, raise the right leg behind you, flexing the foot. As you exhale, bend the right knee towards your nose and land the foot just inside of the right hand. Spin your left heel down with your feet hips width apart and both hips facing forward. Remember, you can adjust the left foot forward a bit if that entire sole is not on the ground. Bend the front knee just over the heel. Bring the arms back by your sides, palms face down, and just pause. Hug your right hip towards the center line of your body and root your left outer heel down. Now feel your center right below the belly button. Engage that to hover the torso just a couple inches off your right thigh while looking past the front edge of your mat. Smile, feel your strength, body and mind. Now begin to raise the arms forward and up as you lift your spine vertically. Relax the shoulders down and settle for a few breaths in Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Think of the qualities of a warrior. Needs to be focused, yet having some sense of inner calm to channel energy. You might seal the palms, you might be gazing up or closing the eyes for 1 more breath. With an exhalation, plant your hands and step right to downward facing dog. Feet hips width apart. Then inhale, raise the left leg. Behind you, flex the foot. Keep the hips leveled. Exhale, bend the left knee towards your nose. Lightly land the foot inside of your left hand. Notice your feet remain hips width apart as you drop the right heel. You might adjust, stepping the right foot forward if needed. Bend the front knee just over the heel. Feel your two hips evenly facing forward. Now bring the arms back by your sides. Keep leaning forward. Palms face down, look past the front of your mat. Steady breathing, steady eyes. Now as you hug the left hip in towards your midline, feel your center contained so you can hover your torso a couple inches off of your left thigh. One more breath. Rooting down through your feet, raise the arms forward and up. Relax the shoulders down as you rise to Virabhadrasana, Warrior One. Steady your gaze, perhaps closing the eyes. 2 more breaths. Maybe your palms meet to touch. Feel the orientation of your pelvis, upright. Simply join your hands at your heart and step the right foot next to the left, right up at the top of your mat, mountain pose. Let your feet come together. So here, bend your knees together to touch. You're in chair pose. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Turn out your right leg from the hip, and as you flex your right foot, lift the right leg to wrap over the left. You could flex the foot outside or tuck the right toes behind the left calf, or you'll probably need to scissor the right hip back to realign the hips to evenly face forward. Now, if you could sit a little lower, it will help to balance. Belly contained, eyes and breath steady. Now adding the arms to eagle pose. Bend the elbows apart and cross left elbow over right. Either hook your thumbs or wrap your forearms and palms. Draw your shoulder blades down your back ribs, but lift your elbows to the height of your shoulders, gently pressing your forearms away from your face. Maybe sit a little lower with an upright spine for 1 or more breaths in eagle pose. We are going to transition into another standing balancing pose. So stay tuned here. Weight stays on left foot. Start to unravel your right leg as you flex the right foot. Press the heel towards the rear of your mat, about parallel to the floor, your right leg. Left hand lands on the ground or block upper left corner of your left pinky toe, half moon pose. Right hand is either on right hip or straight up towards the sky, so that like in triangle pose, your chest is facing the wall towards the wide width of your mat. Stacking right shoulder over left wrist. Feel how flexing your right foot adds stability to this posture. Now, if there's any other way you want to take flight here, you could choose to bend the right knee towards the belly and catch the top of the foot, wailing the right side of the chest open, Ardha Chandra Chapasana, or play with lifting a finger or more of the left hand, maybe hands in prayer. What quality about yourself are you promoting to bring into the rest of your day? When you decide to, let's step the right foot back, Warrior Two. Nice. So now that you're in Warrior Two, straighten both legs, look at the front edge of your mat, and pivot both of your feet, face the exact opposite edge of your mat, the rear. So look at the front foot now, which is facing the rear of your mat. Hope that makes sense. And separate your feet hips width, so your hips are evenly facing that rear edge of your mat. Legs are straight as we prepare for pyramid pose. Shorten your stance, maybe an inch or a foot or a few inches, so that you can equally weigh down on both feet, keep the legs straight and hips facing forward. Now let's open the shoulders in the front. Bring your hands behind your back, either pressing fist to fist like this, holding opposite elbows, or going further into reverse prayer, palm to palm, fingertips pointing up between the shoulder blades. Now, as you broaden the chest, slide the shoulders down. Engage the fronts of your thighs and spread your weight through the four corners of each foot. As the belly firms in, inhale, lift your chest up, look up. Exhale, just a little bit of your range, begin to bow towards your inner right shin, then pause. As you inhale, reground the feet and re-square the hips while lengthening the spine. Exhale, bow another little bit. And just like that, incrementally, take your time, breath by breath, to find your range of this forward fold. Pyramid pose. Utthita Parshvottanasana. Last breath here. Now keep firming your outer hips towards your midline. Feel your center contain. Breathe in, lift your spine parallel to the floor. Breathe out, lower the left hand either on your right shin to the left of your front foot or to the outside, the pinky toe side of the foot, which is more challenging for the twist. Bring your top hand to hook the thumb into the outer hip of your front leg. Draw it back to re-level the hips and elongate the crown of your head forward, tracing the midline of your mat. Feet steady, turn your chest. So you're rotating the rib cage at your waistline to twist. Then you might raise your top hand to the sky and revolve triangle pose. Harita Trikonasana. Breathe in, ground your feet, energize your legs, and lengthen your spine. Breathe out, stabilize your lower back to your hips, and rotate your chest. Shoulders away from the neck. 2 more breaths. Look down at your front foot. Backwards cartwheel the arms, so the hand that's on the ground, raise it forward and backstroke it behind you, rising up. Pivot your feet to face the wide width of your mat and simply step to the top of your mat where we started, eagle pose. So bring your feet to touch and just take a moment, arms by your sides, maybe close the eyes. What are you feeling right now? Tuning in, open your eyes. With feet touching, bend your knees to touch and join your hands at your heart. Steady breath. Shift your weight onto your right foot, spreading the toes. Turn out your left leg, flex the foot. Wrap left leg over right in eagle pose. You might flex the foot outside the leg or tuck the toes behind the calf, scissoring left hip back to realign the hips squared. Sit a little lower to help your balance. To add the arms, practice the elbows apart first, then wrap right elbow over left. Hook your thumbs or wrap forearms and palms. Slide your shoulder blades down your back and lift the elbows to the height of your shoulders. Gently pressing forearms away from the face. Lengthen your spine upright as you might sit a little lower, perhaps 1 or more breaths. Though you know we're transitioning to half moon pose, be fully immersed here with what sensations your body is telling you. Now to come into half moon, keep flexing the left foot as you unravel the left leg parallel to the ground behind you. Left hand to left hip, right hand down. Upper right corner of right pinky toe, maybe on a block. Feel your center contain as you transition mindfully with breath. Elongate, crown of your head towards front wall, left heel towards rear wall, chest facing your left wall. Maybe raise the left arm, or whatever variation you want to explore for a few more breaths. In Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Perhaps you go into Ardha Chandrasana Chapasana, bending left knee towards belly to catch top of the foot, coiling the left side of the chest open. Maybe you raise a finger or more of your right hand, perhaps hands together in prayer. As you feel ready, very slowly land the left foot towards the rear of your mat, stepping lightly into Warrior Two. external senses that requires to be in that focus transition. Once you land both feet on the floor, pivot your feet to face the opposite, the rear edge of your mat. Turn both hips to face the rear edge of your mat, stepping your back foot forward a foot or a few inches. Feet are hips width apart, legs are straight, hips are squared forward. Bring the arms behind your back to open your chest. Either pressing fist to fist, holding the other elbow on top behind, or reverse prayer, fingertips sliding up between the shoulder blades. As you spread your toes, energize your legs. Think of lifting your kneecaps by flexing the quadriceps. Don't lock the knees though. Engage the belly in and broaden your chest. Lift the heart up and slide the shoulder blades down. Breathe in. With a long spine, exhale, hinge from your hips towards your inner left shin, just a little bit of the way. Pause as you inhale, grounding your feet, elongate the spine down the midline of your mat. Exhale, fold another little bit. So on your own, finding your range of motion that honors full breath, full length of the spine, stability in your center, and groundedness. In Utthita Parshvattanasana, pyramid pose, let's take one more full cycle of breath. Keep engaging legs and belly. Inhale, lift the spine parallel to the floor. Exhale, lower right hand either on top of your front shin, inside of the foot, big toe side on the ground, or outside of the foot, pinky toe side if you want more challenge. And bring your top hand hooking the thumb to the outer crease of the hip of your front leg. Grow your spine forward as you inhale down the center line of your mat. Keep the hips leveled. As you exhale, twist, turning your chest towards the wide width of your mat. Breath by breath, stabilizing the center and rotating the rib cage. Maybe raise the top hand towards the sky, stacking wrists and shoulders in one line. Feel the space throughout your neck. Let's be here in revolved triangle pose, Parita Trikonasana, for one more deep breath. Look down at your front foot. Think of a backwards cartwheel just with your hands. So reach the bottom hand forward to lift the torso upright. And pivot your feet to face the wide width of your mat. So facing the wide width in a wide stance, parallel your feet to prepare for an inversion. Whether it's going to be a forward fold or moving into crow if you want to practice an arm balance, or tripod headstand, or dolphin pose. So start with parallel feet and bring your hands to your hips. Lift the heart and roll the shoulders back as you inhale. Hinge from your hips as you exhale and shift more weight towards the balls of your feet. Keep the neck long as you lower your hands to the floor or on blocks. Lift the chest, rising halfway as you breathe in, creating more space in your neck and the rest of your spine. Then exhale to fold. Remember, you could also stay halfway up and do a spinal twist if you're looking more for that. So take 1 minute in your choice. For those of you that have played a bit with going into tripod headstand, I'll walk you through that. Otherwise, you're on your own here doing what is part of your normal practice. So for tripod headstand, you want to walk your hands back, keep your fingertips pointing forward, imagining your hands are in plank pose, lowering to chaturanga. Elbows bend 90 degrees directly above the wrist. Very top of your head is on the floor lightly. As you press the ground with the hands, you're lifting the shoulders away from the neck, creating a triangular base with the top of your head in two palms. You might start to place one knee on top of one upper arm, then the other knee on top of the other upper arm. From here, you could stay or contract the belly, bringing the knees together, whether they stay bent or straight, lifting them up through what might feel like going into boat pose Navasana. If your legs are up high, flex or floint, combination of pointing and flexing your feet. Think of lifting the inner heels up towards the ceiling like you're standing on the sky. Tailbone is lifting up towards the inner heels, aligning a vertical spine. So you're stacking ankles above hips, above shoulders. lifting shoulders away from the neck, preserving the natural space and curve of your neck. With little weight on the head, most weight on the hands. To come down, you could place the knees on the upper arms again. You could bend the knees together towards the belly. Think of boat pose. Or you could splay the feet apart and land them on the floor, back to the wide-legged forward fold. So at your own pace, keep your head low and make your way down to child's pose. Feet together behind you, knees together or apart, arms wherever you like for a few breaths. So try not to lift the head up abruptly after being upside down for a while, as that can cause lightheadedness. From child's pose, when you feel you've had enough rest, slide your belly to the floor forward. Come to lie down, face down with legs straight back. Reach your arms down by your outer thighs, palms face down for one last active heart-opening back bend. We're going to begin with locust pose, Shalabhasana, with various options to go from maybe into bow, catching the outer feet, or reaching the arms forward for more back strengthening. So keep your knees no wider than hips width, press the pubic bone down, and feet stay parallel as you point the toes back. Lift up everything you can without cranking the neck. You could stay here with arms back. You could bend the knees and catch the outer feet coming into bow, Dhanurasana. You could reach the arms forward, upper arms alongside the ears, more for rigor in the back, as long as you don't have lower back pain or issues. So 5 to 10 deep breaths, your count. When you finish, please slide back into child's pose for a few breaths. This time, straightening your arms forward to actively lengthen your spine. Place your hands alongside your knees and tuck your chin towards your chest. With a slow inhalation, roll your spine upright to sit. Bring your legs in front of you as we prepare for a seated twist. Extend your left leg forward. Either step your right foot in front of the hip or cross it outside of your left knee, in which you might also bend your left knee, finding a variation where you could sit tall and the pelvis is balanced. Then backstroke your right hand behind your pelvis and raise your left arm. Press into the ground, even with your right foot, and lift up through your crown, breathing in. At your waistline, twist to your right as you breathe out and lower your left arm, either holding your top shin or hooking your elbow outside the thigh. Lift the chest, exhale, deepen the twist for just a few more breaths. At the end of this exhalation, unwind your spine, and let's prepare for the second side. Straighten both legs first, then bend the left knee, stepping the foot in front of the hip or outside of the right knee. You might also bend the right knee. Backstroke the left hand behind your pelvis and raise your right arm. Press downward to lift upward as you inhale. Twist to your left as you exhale. Lower your right arm either onto your shin or hook your elbow outside the thigh. As you broaden your chest, lift your heart, lift your spine. Exhaling, continue to twist. A few more breaths. The end of the exhale, unwind your spine and straighten both legs to prepare for a forward fold. Separate your feet hips width apart and flex your feet. If you're using a strap, place it around the balls of your feet and give enough slack so your shoulders can relax. Otherwise, grab your 2 imaginary straps from the sky and get a little taller as you breathe in. Lead with your heart forward as you breathe out. Then lower your hands and crawl them down the backs of your legs, keeping the shoulders relaxed as you slightly lift your heart.
Just about 3 more breaths here, bowing in to yourself. Lead with your chest, your heart, and inhale to slowly rise up.
Relax the toes and lower your spine all the way down to the floor. Once your skull meets the earth, close your eyes and release control of moving and your breath. Shavasana. Invite a fresh new breath to enliven your lungs and body. Long sigh, open the mouth, allowing deeper breaths to gently awaken your body as you move it softly, easing into a stretch. Perhaps turning your attention inward still by closing your eyes as you gather your knees into your chest. Whether you choose to rock side to side, forward and back, find your way up when you feel ready. We're going to culminate with a breathing practice that was asked for more of yesterday, which is the 3-part breath, Durga Pranayama. We'll use that for our meditation practice. So 2 minutes of that, sit tall, relax the shoulders. Let's place the hands on the belly, closing the eyes. Just breathe through your nose. Inhale into your belly fully. Hold the breath in, then exhale completely through your nose. Now, place your hands on your left and right walls of your ribs. Inhale, expand your left and right ribs. Hold the breath in, feel that fullness, relax the shoulders. Exhale completely through the nose. Hold the breath out. Place your hands on your chest. Inhale into the top of your chest, spreading the collarbones wide. Hold the breath at fullness and relax the body. Exhale everything. Hold the breath, then just breathe naturally a moment as I explain. So leaving your left hand on your chest and your right hand in your lower belly, we're gonna divide the inhalation into 3 parts. Belly, side ribs, then chest. We'll hold the breath in at the top, then we'll exhale completely through the nose and pause. A few times of that. So let's start. Empty this breath, hold it out, into the belly, 1/3 inhale. Pause, into the side ribs, 1/3 inhale. Pause, into the top of your chest, 1/3 inhale. Hold the breath, relax the body, exhale completely through your nose. Hold the breath out. Again, 1/3 into the belly. Pause. 1/3 into the side ribs. Pause. 1/3 to your upper chest. Pause. Hold. Relax. Exhale completely. One more together. Last one on your own. Inhale, 1/3 belly. Inhale, 1/3 side ribs. Inhale, 1/3 chest. Hold and relax. Exhale completely. Hold at the bottom, then take one more on your own. Once you've finished holding the breath out, let your palms meet at your heart as you bow in. A moment to pause and just briefly feel the effects of your practice. Thank you for sharing your time and energy and inspiring me to grow in my practice too. Let's close chanting one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.